dance trying to get through that great wall, the great, I guess, internet wall blockage. So he'll be here in a second. But yeah, we're gonna kick this off. We have the Rarity Farming Snapshot coming up in a little under 30 minutes, round 4. So if you haven't already, you should probably be dressing your gotchis. I gotta go check out some rentals. And yeah, generally, how you doing, Ace? Like otherwise.
Good, having friends around my place. We started to cook some stuff last night. I was doing barbecue today, pizza and chilling, talking, playing PS. They also brought PS1, such an OG stuff.
Yeah, I missed my PS1 in like I think I want to say 2002 when I was like in college. I was working as a security guard. I had a PS1, but the little mini one that you could buy that had a screen built in, and it was the absolute best because I would just go to work and I'd be at a loading dock signing people in, and I would be playing video games and no one would realize it because it's this little tiny PS1. And yeah, I wish they would make I guess they do. We have the Switch; it's sort of similar, but it just was cool seeing games evolve back then.
Yeah, that's true. Some games on the PS1 is like totally a legend. We was trying to play some fighting, like something looks like a Asylum or something. I don't know. It was a lot of fun.
Hey,
Just
Jam Fringe,
forgot how it calls. Eh?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, good. Hi, Dan.
Nice. Ace, where are you from, man? I'm seeing like comments. You're in, like, are you in Japan?
No, I'm not in Japan yet, but most of the time I stay in Thailand, like 75% of my time.
Got it. Makes sense. All right. I saw you were mentioning you're going to what was it? Something in Tokyo.
Yeah, have plans, but let's see how it unfolds.
Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, Thailand's great.
Yeah, but it's burning there now.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's gonna get hotter for sure. But got some nice beaches and stuff. Cool, man.
Yep. They just had a Thai New Year, Songkran, not so long ago.
Songkran, yeah.
Yeah, people using water guns. Some of them using like how's it like?
Jesse, we were on a call the other
grants.
day. We were talking about Alchemica in the Gotchiverse, and there's this new, not really a weapon, like I think it's called Alchemica Blaster that the team was talking about. Remember that? We were like talking about, it sounds like Songkran, but for Alchemica in the Gotchiverse, like you'd be spraying Alchemica at each other.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, I can't wait for the GotchiVerse 3D. Hey, Jesse.
Hey guys, how we doing? I didn't realize you're in Thailand. That's so cool. You're in the neighborhood.
Yeah, because you guys in the
But yeah, I mean, on that
point,
we want to make the, going 3D. There's just even more we can do with Alchemica to make it a lot of fun to not just spend and craft things, but to share. Like a lot of times we noticed with Gotchiverse 2D, people really enjoy just like, hosting a party on their parcel and splashing Alchemica everywhere for friends and everyone to come by. So I think we'll have a lot more options with that, and we're already starting to explore it. I think it is called the Alchemica Blasters, at least the working title for
it. Guys, can you build me a t-shirt gun?
T-shirt gun.
That's basically what it is. Yeah, it's literally like a t-shirt gun that fires off Alchemica.
Yeah, because I feel like giving out like a wearable or two at an event, like you shoot them into the crowd and let them just like fight. That would be so much fun.
So you cannot pick it up till the last one standing, or what?
I guess like it would be, and the way I'm envisioning it is like King of the Hill. So if you're standing on the t-shirt for long enough, you'll pick it up, but people can kill you if you stand too still. So
that's cool.
That sounds pretty fun actually. shoot some
Just want to
Alchemica
watch
in,
people.
and you got to get to the finish line or something with your Alchemica intact.
Yeah, man. I just want to give people like objectives that I can kind of like point to, like go that way, fight over there, and then
Yeah.
record the whole thing.
Hey guys, by the way, if I like may ask about Great Battle Simulator, is it gonna be like a part of the Gotchiverse, or it's like absolutely different application and like
It's going to
trying to
be in the
imagine?
Gotchiverse. It's essentially your parcel made into a level that you can play on and kind of customize. So it'll be, imagine you'll be like in the Gotchiverse on your parcel, and then you'll be able to say, hey, I wanna play a match of GBS on my parcel right now using my parcel. Or you can also list your parcel out in the game, and people can come on your parcel and play GBS on your parcel too. But it'll be totally a part of the Gotchiverse.
So we're gonna stand on our parcel, and then gonna be Liquidator's Invasion, right? Or what's the gameplay?
Yeah. It'll be like a separate mode. So it'll be, imagine like a simulation of your parcel, but it'll be your parcel, and you'll say, I want to play a round of GBS, and then it will like kind of open a new mode almost on top of the parcel. And that's where you would like play your round of GBS on.
That's really interesting, because I'm kind of thinking about how all of this little engines and the gears that we have in our protocol could be combined to make some grand release of the game that combines all of the puzzles together.
Yeah, I think GBS is going to be it's we're very focused on getting SFA out the door with we have a new mode coming at the end of the month. It's going to be amazing. But once that's out, it's all about farming and GBS, and I think it's going to be a process as we get these features out and everyone gets to play with them. But I think the game is just going to kind of naturally evolve over time as it has been doing. I don't know if there'll ever be a day when I'm like, when we're like, this is the official release of the Gotchiverse. It's kind of just organically evolving over time.
So basically, Gotchiverse is supposed to be our our base for building everything on top of it and making become something like, I don't know, as I see it, it's supposed to be either MMO, or it's supposed to be something like Diablo, as I see it, because this is actually what kind of assets we have, and all of these traits and the things that could be on top, build on top of this with the classes and professions and resources. Because like actually our protocol could get expansions so many different ways, but anyway, we need to understand which way we're supposed to go as a game. Like not just we build mini games or like side dApps, but there's supposed to be something that combine all the stuff together. And I'm just thinking which way we're supposed to go initially.
Yeah, I think there's like there's what we as a community want. There's what we as a Pixelcraft can build. And there's also what the larger kind of gaming sphere is developing and wants. So there's always kind of these competing interests. But from what we want to build, we definitely were in the kind of metaverse class. So the Gotchiverse is a metaverse. So it's very social focused. But at the same time, questing and professions and stuff are things that would be cool to have. But are we trying to make like a full blown MMORPG? Not on like not I don't think that's what the Gotchiverse will be for any time in the near future here, because it's just like it's such a massive undertaking. Where it might slowly evolve into that though over time, but initially once we start focusing on getting out the land and farming. Like we just want to bring value to Alchemica and to land, and then continue adding on more and more gameplay over time.
Right, and how do you see giving the value to Alchemica? Which way?
There's many ways, really. I mean, we have a lot of things we could do, but I think having games that use the Alchemica to gain like a slight advantage in the game is a great way, because we can't make games that are like, you know, completely pay to win and spend all your Alchemica to win the game. We want people to be able to play the games, have a fair experience, but, you know, use a little bit of Alchemica to like bring in an HP potion. That's kind of the strategy that we're going with Spirit Force Arena at the moment. So it's it's a balanced game, but you can also spend a little bit of Alchemica to get a slight advantage in the game. And that over time, when that compounds, if we get lots of people playing the games, that really compounds over time, and you would see a serious use case for Alchemica at that point. So that's one, just like introducing ways for people to use the tokens, and that's one way. Another way is just making social experiences where you can play with your crypto, where you can give away Alchemica, use it in like the Alchemica Blaster, and increase like your clout in the game, like just showing off. Basically, that's all. That's another great fun use case of crypto.
All right, you always talking like in the game. In the game, you mean Great Battle Simulator, or which game you are calling?
I'm talking about Spirit Force Arena, Gotchiverse, and GBS at the moment. Yeah.
Dan, would you guys ever consider? I mean, we've talked about games of chance and why we can't do that. I fully understand that, but I've been on Blast and I played something like Moon or Doom, where you're basically picking on a 1 minute chart. Will ETH go up or down? Just a simple up or down pick. If we did anything like that with Alchemica, could we do anything like that with Alchemica to maybe create like a burn or, just a game we could play? Because I have a bunch of Alchemica and I would, Moon or Doom all day.
I mean, do we want to do that? Yes. Is it feasible to do that legally as Docs founders? Probably not. It's something that there's prediction markets and out there that can do stuff like that. I don't think it's something we necessarily need to build in as a game level feature.
Do other people want to play with our open source protocols and build that? Knock yourself out. I think other people can build those things. I don't know if it's really part of Pixelcraft's. It doesn't really fit our main goals and focus either. Like, I will play them, but I don't think it's. We've got our hands full building out the Gotchiverse and these kind of less casino type experiences. But I mean, it is the season, and these are open source avatars, and Alchemica is a token there that could be used by anybody. I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen anybody spin up some really simple arcade style betting games. Would we host them on aavegotchi.com? I'm not sure about that. That would already implicate us. But yeah, I'm always encouraging the DAO and key members to build what they want.
But I kind of thought it's forbidden, no?
I mean, there's protocols out there like Polymarket that are doing just fine. So it's forbidden to. It all depends on your risk appetite and where you stand on the risk curve. If you
No, I mean, since Aavegotchi registered in US, we will have no problem, or if it's an initiative made by the DAO, like it does not affect Pixelcraft, right? I'm just trying to understand.
If we create an API, like we're focusing on this new release for Spirit Force Arena, and if we had an API that a protocol could hit that told you the results of a battle, someone could theoretically spin up smart contracts that consume that API and do on-chain kind of speculation for the results of that match. So it's possible. Are we going to do it? Probably. We would like to. I think it'd be an amazing feature, but where we are on the risk curve, we're pretty far off there as doxed American founders.
Okay, so just to clarify, like 100%, if some random were to make a betting app using Alchemica, it wouldn't be a problem for us, right? As long as it wasn't affiliated with us directly.
I don't think there'd be much we could do about it. Now, like we said, we start marketing it, hosting on the website, tweeting it from the main account. Those are all things that we probably couldn't do. But they're ERC20 on-chain assets, right? So
yeah, good point.
Sub communities could do what they want. Individuals, it doesn't have to be like DAO. It could be like, I mean, I'm not endorsing. I'm just saying, like, if somebody did do that, I don't think we could stop them if we wanted to.
Would we be able to do like shared leaderboard rewards? Like if everybody did like a shared like pool for a game, is that basically the same thing?
No, now I'm suddenly thinking maybe the DAO wants to do some outreach to some more legal. You guys could have some conversations. What's possible? Like put them on retainer and be like, we're just going to send you like a dozen questions and see what our limits are. And because I can't answer, I don't know.
The typical response is, it's a gray area. When you get into casinos and gambling, it's less of a gray area when you get into that.
Yeah, Dave and Buster's is going to do like voting on arcade game or like gambling on arcade game.
Yeah.
So it's coming.
You can also get answers like, yeah, it's possible, but it's kind of jurisdiction by jurisdiction. So if you have a budget to go get all the licenses for the majority of places you're not going to geo-block, you could do it that way, and that'd be super legit. So yeah, it really.
Dave and Buster's is region specific probably, and they're also doing it like I haven't played it, but you're probably in the establishment doing that, right? It's basically a casino, but it's not.
Yeah, I would assume, or they're like referring to like doing it in like you know how they do those big like Dota tournaments and stuff, like
esports,
betting on that. Yeah.
What I think is possible is something more like you mentioned, esports. Betting on the outcome of individual matches, I think, is probably pretty high out there on the risk curve. But something like what Fantasy Top is doing with the leaderboards is a little bit. I think that's a little bit less risky. So if you have like tournaments where, for example, this is just speculating, but you could basically, like if we had a Spirit Force Arena or GotchiGuardians tournament, maybe you could buy a card of a player in that tournament, and like the value of their card would go up or down based on how they're doing in the tournament. Now, why they would even care about that, I don't know. Like, why would a player care about if people are buying their card or not? Like with Fantasy Top, you care because you're getting more engagement on social media. Would a esports player care about people like buying their cards? Would it make them like game harder? Maybe they could like quit their job and go and do gaming full time because their fans are supporting them. So I think there is a model out there, but it's less about specific match outcomes and more about like how they are performing and growing as a player in a specific kind of season or tournament.
I kind of agree with what Hardcore's saying here. The more we talk about it, the less good it is. I think he's referring to, like, do we need casino games to be part of the meta for Aavegotchi? And I don't know. I get what you're saying, though, Future, with the boom bust. Like, it's crypto 101. But we're also we put a year and a half or so into these really good games that I think are going to stand on their own. as they come into their full
Bro,
adulthood here. We're kind of
GotchiGuardians
through
is
the,
looking, jeez. Like
we're through the
Yo.
awkward teenage phase. It's like these are going to be lit when they come out, and we can still layer on some cool crypto applications to it that, uh, you know, people playing Blast might appreciate, etc. So, yeah, if you want to talk about Guardians a little bit, I know Thrax is having a heyday because of one of the new features that came through. Saw some of the
Yo, it's
shots.
insane, man. It's like I can't even. I don't have the words. The community is gonna lose their crap. Like when they play the game, it's a different game. It's a whole new game, and you can play it 3 new ways, and that's just based on the one feature that I'm playing with. Like, not even including all the new things that they've actually added. I can't.
Yeah, you're not talking about the new towers, the new enemies, like any of that. All the new
No,
power ups.
No, there's so much stuff that they added in terms of like items and things like that I'm not even talking about. It's just the one thing that they made basically for me, but now it's available to everybody, and it's going to be so cool. And I'm not going to say anything about it because I just want you guys to see the trailer, which is going to kind of showcase it like subtly, and you'll figure it out. And then play the game because it's literally now like 3 games in one. Because I don't know, I'm not going to say more.
That's quite the tease, as they're saying. What else can we say about we're hanging on a. I mean, hopefully you guys will get to play it next week. I guess we're kind of waiting on a little feedback from Slama. He's got his hands full. Couple things came up inside with the team that are out of everyone's control. Those things happen, but hopefully everything goes smooth for everyone over there, and we'll get to stay on track for a release in the next week or so. And yeah, it's going to be epic. It's going to be so much fun. So I'm just really bullish about all these games right now, where they're at. They're hitting their stride. Same for Spirit Force. It's coming along really nicely. I think it's also going to be, to quote what Thrax just said for GG, it's going to be like a whole new game here real soon, between the facelift on visuals and the UI has basically always been kind of placeholder, and you guys are going to be probably pleasantly surprised with where that's going. And just you're going to feel that vibe throughout the game that maybe, yeah, it just wasn't there like it's going to be. It's so different now. And the duels feature, which we've talked about for a couple of weeks now, that's coming along really nice. I think once we can have a game where we can actually use Ghost and Alchemica in game, that's going to be epic, and we're right on the precipice of that.
Drop a comment or an emoji or something in the chat if you're excited about duels, because I think people might be sleeping on duels coming.
I know I'm going to have fun with that. I have one set up with Katara already. Like, I told her as soon as it was announced, I'm like, you. We're having a one-on-one. Because it's one thing to fight like a group of people and then get stabbed in the back. And it's another thing to, like, there's one person in the arena. You know there's one person and it's just you. Like, come and get me.
All right, we got to finally get Bearded versus Yannick. I don't know. Maybe have they all sold all their assets? But whatever they've got left, I want to see Bearded versus Yannick.
They can do Gotchi lending.
Somebody they can do
Tiles fight.
Yeah, make them duke it out with 2 common, very like low BRS
gameplay. Or they can just use champions or something, just the lowest of the low. But no, I hope they have at least a few gotchis left to enter. And yeah, Immaterial can lend them their gotchis back. He's going to be. I mean, I know that Mark is super busy with Gotchi Battler, but he's a great candidate to be swinging it in the duels mode for sure. His gotchis are just so powerful. We're gonna have to find who will be his match, right? He's like rocking 1,000+ BRS gotchis.
He should start his own esports league where he rents his gotchis out to players under the the Immaterial brand, and it's just a fighting series under him.
Hey guys, quick question for the oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to talk about another feature that's making it in for the first duels release. It almost wasn't. We were like, no, let's make sure this gets in on the very first go because we need good first impressions. That is the ability to have private lobbies, private matches, like invites. So last I checked in, that's still on track. We're going to have that right out the gate. So if you do want to invite a very specific person, you don't have to worry about opening up a lobby and then, like, I don't know, a bot or just somebody, stumbling in to play you one-on-one before you, like, well, if you wanted to play Pachara Thrax and then I see that and I just hop in, then you guys got to match each other. So now we'll have private lobbies, which also helps for, like, the Gotchi Mafia, any guilds that want to get in on this and, like, organize tournaments and stuff. You can start doing that because you can just set it up. So it's going to be really good for fight nights.
I have plans already, man.
Yeah, Gotchi Mafia, this is your time to shine. Or, Portal Mages, Los Mustachos, any of the guilds. Finally, there's a good reason to have guilds because you guys can, like, organize your own kind of game nights. I think it's going to be pretty exciting to watch. It's all up to what we do with it, but the feature set is there. It's coming very soon.
They were doing, like, under the table buy-ins, like trusted friend circle buy-ins for poker nights. So I think that model, we may not do some of the prediction market stuff at the beginning of this call, but that model will at least work for trusted groups of friends and guilds.
Well,
Guys,
since we're gonna have poker, sorry, you go.
I just need to make a channel for the recordings that people want to submit. Would you guys prefer that be in the Great Portal area or in a forum?
We kind of have a lack of buying topics, so not to lose it, I think it's going to be better in the portal, I guess.
It's pretty niche. I would honestly put it in the DAO, or maybe not. Like, it's a pretty niche thing. Just takes up
Yeah,
I mean,
we can always direct people to it, like when they are talking or whatever. They'll, like, we'll link to it every once in a while so that people know it's there if it's in the forums.
Yeah, I like it in the forums, to be honest.
Okay, I'll do that. By the way, No Futuristic, you've been killing it, dude, with the like jump on the content. Thank you for that. Like, great examples.
Yeah, actually, I have them. I was waiting for you to bring it up because I have them all here for people to, like, kind of look at. This was just what we were talking about with the media bounties that Thrax is kind of alluding to. So yeah, if you want to talk about that, that'd be cool because you're going to be launching that officially this week, right? This is the first week it starts.
Yes, and I just want to clarify before we start. Like, are we including the DAO portion or are we not including the DAO portion?
The DAO portion, I thought this was just the PC side, the Hangout.
It's totally up to you. I'm happy with, like, it doesn't make a difference to me. I'm just asking. Like, because right now I'm uploading the whole thing to Spotify for anyone that's
maybe we should cut it in two pieces, like the first part and the second part, and just, like, name them as it's
part of I'm going to speak in the DAO-ur about this because I have some plans, like, with this funding thing that I put up, and part of it would be that I would love to have at the end of the.
By the way, 1 minute till the snapshot, guys.
Yeah, at the end of the Hangout, we would basically like a 3-minute song, and then transition, stop the stream, start a new stream, and now it's the DAO-ur, and that would be on DAO socials. But we'll get into all that after.
Okay, if that's the case, whoever's doing the Gotchi bot, if you could just stop it and start it again so that we have two separate recordings. Because right now I'm recording, like, I'm uploading the whole thing to Spotify. So if we're trying to keep it private, we would have to make a private upload for the DAO stuff, and then I'd link to that somewhere in, like, a Gotchi role. I don't know. Can we make folders that are role locked somehow? I'll figure that out.
All right, snapshot is taken, friends. That was your season finale.
I think it's a good idea to stop the recording in the middle. Like, I mean, not in the middle. I mean, like, after 1 hour we stop it, and then the other record is, like, for just DAO call. Sounds good. Sorry, Dan.
Now I'm gonna make the announcement now, and yeah, we'll have these stimmies out to you guys within 24 hours.
Yeah, directors are actually doing the transactions right now for Aerodrome for the incentives, as well as for the snapshot, the Rarity Farming rewards. There's a third transaction there as well.
You guys have been busy, man. Maybe during the DAO-ur you can talk a little bit. There's been like so many transactions flowing these last couple days.
Yeah, we're trying to execute it quickly because, like, me personally, I've already moved Ghost over there, so it's like get the incentives over there. But these transactions are timely. Like, we have to get it all the signatures in within 30 minutes, or the certain transactions will time out. So it becomes a little bit more of a challenge to coordinate everybody. But we're able to do it. We're all, I guess, in attendance now and working on it, so it's good.
Yeah, you guys are like
Oh,
the Navy SEALs out there doing your special ops, getting those transactions in time, hustling.
Before I forget, no future. Please send me your wallet address in DMs.
Oh, nofuturistic.eth.
Oh. I think I supposed to go to Snapshot to find the address. Because when I'm trying to send through the UI with DNS names, it's kind of giving an error somehow.
Yeah, I'll send it to you after the meeting just because I'm trying to focus on like 5 different things.
Okay, cool.
I was gonna ask you something to pass to Hernani, but he's found busy.
No, go for it. I'm just like typing and responding to people. But yeah, what's up?
So one thing, I love the rental market. It's really cool. I just think that there's one improvement that would make it, like right now, one of the problems that I have is I'm trying to go like rent higher value stuff. And it's hard because people that hold the higher value stuff don't want to just put it on the market and wait. So if there was some kind of like guaranteed minimum that Orium can like put for the owner essentially, so that they can hold the item, put it on the market, and then just have a better stock of rental things essentially, just for like a short period of time. I feel like that would incentivize the market significantly. Does that make sense, or am I talking crazy?
No, 100%. I'll pass that along to Hernani. The other idea I thought would work would be enabling a feature where the person could basically list for rental, but also list for sale. You can't buy it until the rental's over, but because like if you have a godlike item and you want to rent it out, you have to take it off the bazaar. So yeah, you'll be earning fees if it's rented, but if you're trying to get the liquidity from the sale, you can't. It's like you have to make a choice. So I don't know. I'm not a dev, so I'm just probably speaking, out of face. But I would love to see a way that you can list it for rental. It's still frozen as an asset in that it can't be transferred while in the rental, but it can also be listed for sale. So if someone wants to buy it when the rental ends, it goes to that person. I just don't know if
That
it can.
sounds so complicated, dude. It's doable. Everything's doable. It's just like receipt tokens and stuff, but it sounds hella complicated.
Yeah, it's
Yo,
just
guys,
before in my mind, it's a button that I press, and I'm like, oh yeah, that works. So it's like this is the problem with not understanding the complexities of the dev lifestyle, because I have dreams and they're all like, crushed because it's like I'm just asking for so much and I don't realize it's not that much.
before I forgot, with the latest update that brought us offer when we were able to buy an item with a special price on the auction. I were thinking maybe it's gonna be possible to make something offer to the item that is not listed, but in somewhere's wallet. You just like jumping around somebody's wallets and looking what kind of stuff they have in inventory, and there might be a button that you click and you make an offer to someone who's not even listing anything on the bazaar or something. What you think about it?
Oh, also, before I forget, with the rental stuff, we just implemented minimum durations for rentals. That happened yesterday, as well as trait filtering. I have to make an announcement for that. But yeah, for Gotchi Battler, hopefully there's going to be more stuff coming for Orium so that it makes it easier for you to rent and get ready for that tournament. With the minimum rental durations, though, it makes it easier for the owner to, instead of only getting sniped for 1 second, you can rent it out for the price that you feel is fair and get a decent reward for it. So it'll be interesting to see how the market reacts to that change in feature because now the meta is different. So we'll just see.
Do you have buy orders or like rent orders, I guess?
What do you mean by that?
So like, let's say I want to rent a t-shirt for 5 ghosts per day. I just put in like an order, and then when that pops up, if there's no, like, it fills the order list as it comes up, essentially, so that
No,
it's
that sounds
like an
great.
anti-bot thing.
Yeah, to have like a wearable like order book would be amazing. But once again, that's one of those dreams. I'd be like, hey, can we do this? And I don't know. That seems like it would be complicated, but I feel like it shouldn't be too complicated because that kind of code already exists, right?
Yeah, it's like all the code already kind of exists for the most part. It's just making it work with our stuff is what tends to be hard.
Yeah, this is very true.
You guys, I'm so excited. Finally got my wearables in 3D.
Oh, dude, is that official now?
It's not on the SDK yet, but we got Coder Dan coming in here.
Amazing, man. I had to fake that for my secret project.
Right.
That's awesome. I told him to as we were making it. I'm like, yo, they're gonna make the official one right after we finish this. You know that, right? And he's like, yep. This happens to be that way. Like we did this like fake green screen thing. He taught me how to install the like SDK locally so that I could like make the camera and fake the background. And then the day after that, Salama's like, check it out. I made you a green screen. Like,
right. Yeah. Because like he realized how important it was to have that.
Yeah, it was epic, dude. And he like killed it. He added way more options like pink and blue and that's clutch because I didn't realize.
I actually use the black one the most, but because the axe is black too, it's like you can't.
There's a little like there's a little finesse that you got to play with. Like if you're wearing a lot of green, use the pink one, but then you have to mask the cheeks because then you lose the cheeks. There's a bunch of stuff. If you're wearing the llama corn thing, it's hell. Like
Let's see. We also got a new set. The Lick Brain just came in as well. The wearables have been coming in. We're getting very close. Our actual the blockage right now is actually getting them animated in 3D, like rigging them. But a lot of the wearables are actually done and modeled now. They're just not fully rigged yet. So we got the 3D the Lick here, looking very cool. It's like menacing almost.
So happy with that.
Yeah, dude. That came out way nicer than I thought it was gonna.
Like they're always surprising me, man. I'm not gonna share Stanny vest, but it's got a sick little. We're doing some special stuff for all the godlikes as we get to them. Stanny vest, they've really kind of gone above and beyond with it. But I'm gonna let you guys wait till that comes out on the SDK to see it. Portal Mage, I believe, is done. Let me check. I think I saw Portal Mage. That it might be on the SDK already.
It is. It should be anyway. I've used the Portal Mage in the new Spirit Force. So yeah, and he's so tight, dude. I'm so glad I have a set.
I don't have a full body of it, but here's the armor. But I believe it is on the SDK. Here's the armor though.
Ooh,
yeah.
Let me see if I can get a screenshot from Spirit Force. Hang on.
I'm just glad that we're almost through all the wearables because we we don't really want to add new schematics and stuff until we've finished and gotten caught up. Then we can start adding new stuff. But it's like we just need to get through all the wearables first. But I know there's been lots of conversations about getting, doing a new batch of schematics, which and the mystery set that Andy brought up a month or two ago. So we're almost ready for new wearables, friends. We'd definitely love them. Oh, there we go. That Portal Mage looks sick. Ruffle. Very nice.
Love how the Ruffle's always good.
That's in SFA. So is that whose Gotchi is that?
I think that's one of the champions in like the late.
Oh,
level.
that's right. Yeah, that's like one of the top level champions. Oh yeah.
And he's beast, man. He does so much damage.
Yeah, that axe is pretty powerful. But slow but powerful. Let's see, I'm looking through the sets here if there's any more. Actually, they were working on some XP potions and some of the potions in 3D. I'm trying to find the animations because those look pretty interesting too. But let's see. The geisha headpiece was the one that turned out. We spent, I don't know if we've shared this one before, spent a ton of time on it, trying like different hairstyles and stuff, but in the end we just ended up going with this one, which I think looks really nice. We tried making it a bit poofier on the sides, but it looked like a grandma haircut or something. But I think this one works also quite well. Kind of more the OG shape.
Yeah, it's pretty. You see TBURD's wonderful classic
yeah.
above it. It's pretty true to that, which is the way to go. It's actually really close.
Well, friends, I know the directors are working hard here. I just got a ping that we already have liquidity now. We finally have it on Aerodrome. So I'm gonna go check over there, but we will have the ghost incentives live on Aerodrome as well in this epic, I believe. So I'm very excited for that. I'm gonna I'll make a little tweet for that in a bit. But
so for
finally live on Aerodrome.
There's 100K of ghost incentives for this next 2 weeks on Aerodrome, or does it go longer than that?
I have to check what I put in the prop. I think it was 2 epics worth.
2 epics worth. Okay, spread it out a bit more.
So one epic I think is 1 week. So it might be 2 weeks. It might be 4. I have to check what I put in there. But the whole game is to get the flywheel going. So we have that DAO prop going in the DAO right now to basically take 80% of whatever arrow we get and reinvest that back into the gauge, back into the incentives. So if you guys have not voted on that, definitely drop that in the chat here.
So we'll be able to start earning arrow from today, basically?
Yeah, once there's some liquidity, like the more volume, the more arrow we earn.
Yep. Did anyone see the Northern Lights, by the way?
Bro, I saw the pictures. I'm so jealous. It's like everyone in Europe is experiencing it.
I didn't see shit. It was cloudy. I didn't see the eclipse either because it was cloudy. But I saw pictures, so that's cool. I got FOMO.
Isn't it weird to see? I not supposed to see it here, but
it's definitely weird. There was a huge solar flare yesterday. So that's something I actually did get to see, weirdly enough. I have the eclipse glasses still from the eclipse, and I looked at the sun for a sec, and you can see the hole. Like there's a sunspot where the flare came from, I guess. It just looks like a dot. It looks like there's a dead pixel on the sun. Really weird. And that's what's causing the northern lights. And you should be able to see it tonight again, hopefully. Well, fingers crossed. Oh, and please, like, disclaimer, don't look at the sun unless you've got the right eyewear. Please don't blind yourselves. The glasses have something on them written ISO 12312-2. If it doesn't have that, don't do it.
I heard somewhere there's like a trend of people staring into the sun. I forget what it's called, like red lighting or something. Like
Yeah,
looking
they're
into
like
the
sun
sun.
eaters. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, like my eyes
that's
need
not
to eat
good.
the sun.
I don't know where that came from. There's people that like sun their buttholes as well and like weird shit. I don't like. There are, to that point, we've
Sun
got like
gazing. That's right.
special. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, but what do you think is like? Close your eyes.
How
though.
long do you
know
look
what I
at
mean?
it for? You're not just staring at the sun, right? I mean, that's not good for your eyes.
If you do, you won't see for very long. That's all I'm gonna say. Like your eyes are a literal like lens. They will focus the sunlight to a perfect point on the back of your retina. So if you're looking at the sun directly in the middle, it will burn the yellow spot out of your eye, and you won't see anything. Like it's a very bad idea.
Bach, you're right, man. Big sun.
There's red lights, like the red light therapy things. They do the same thing essentially.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you want to get the benefits without potentially killing your vision forever, there's good scientific evidence behind that. Basically, it's like a small amount of damage to your skin will cause your skin to regenerate. So, like, it makes sense, but you don't have to do it in a way that'll permanently injure you either. And also, like, your skin cells have varying levels of thickness for protectivity. So, like, your palms and heels and stuff are very thick, but like places like your nethers, where the sun don't shine, there's a saying for a reason. Like, you don't want sun there because you're gonna burn. It's not gonna be pleasant.
Yeah, I'm slowly cooking because Nashville's already like in the 85, 86 degree range. So we're talking like, I guess that's close to 30 degrees Celsius. But I go out and play basketball every day. So I'm out there and I'm just like melting slowly. But I do tan pretty well. So it's going to be nice.
Loving the conspiracy theory talk. Speaking of conspiracy theory, this is way out of our typical conversation. Has anyone seen the MH370 stuff on X? Like the plane disappearing into the portal. It's kind of tangential to Aavegotchi.
It's funny you mentioned. It must be like popular again. I just saw something on my timeline about that like this week.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
guy's been.
Do you have a picture or the link to that?
Yeah, this dude like has been talking about it for years, like putting every little piece together about what happened to it because it was crazy, right? It just like literally disappeared. I'll link to it. Not gonna say too much about it. I mean, they say like it. People say they're CGI, but the dude has done so much work, like trying to prove that it's not CGI, and the level of detail is like insane in the CGI. So if it is CGI, damn, that guy needs a raise. Yeah, it's very controversial. Funny, it's a funny rabbit hole to get sucked into over the weekend. And there's portals involved, so that's why it could be a funny Aavegotchi gif. The plane disappearing into the portal, going into the Gotchiverse.
One of my favorite assets, Portal, done by Jesse. I kind of feel that we pay not that much attention to the portals as like one of our main representatives of protocol, since the Aavegotchi is coming from the portal, and we are summoners. Feature
I'm really glad you brought that up. I agree with you, and I think there's the Portal Wars, which never actually got built out by somebody. That's a good example of like some gambling. Somebody should have built a little UI for that little smart contract. But Coder Dan, you've been very busy the last week working with the front end team and DApp team on and paying extra attention to the portal opening experience.
Yeah, when we moved over from V1 to V2, I think just trying to get everything done in time. They didn't have time to like perfect the portal opening experience that we had done on V1, and just kind of put it in as a kind of a placeholder. But now they're finally getting back to basically I think the UX of the original portal opening was basically perfect. So we're going to be putting that back in and on V2. And it's hard to improve on it, honestly. Like, so pretty happy to just see that getting back. And I think the portal will find its way into many other future assets. Like it's core to the IP, to the protocol. So the idea of the portal, I think it'll manifest itself in a lot of other assets. It's kind of as a recurring motif across Aavegotchi.
By the way, how long you gonna still be supporting the V1 version of the website? I remember that like one day you're gonna abandon it.
I don't think we'll abandon it, but it's gonna have like fewer and fewer features compared to the new DApp, because the new DApp is like significantly easier to develop on in terms of like layout. But I did mention we're exploring a gotchi mode on the V2. Now, this is not anywhere close to what will eventually be there. I'm sure there'll be a lot of changes, but here's a little. I was playing with it a little bit over the weekend. Potential gotchi mode for the V2 DApp, which I think feels pretty. The colors feel quite nice.
Yeah,
but I'm curious what people think.
Looks
gotchi.
Yeah, it looks gotchi. But I'm kind of missing those little elements on the V1 version with white spirits.
Yeah. So I was playing with those a little bit too. I wasn't able to get them. They're not in this screenshot, but I think we'll figure out how to get those in there as well.
It's nice. Good to know.
Any game devs in the house got an update? We got Thrax. Do you want to give an update or anything on Mechagotchis, or who else here is in the audience wants to give an update on what you're working on?
I can give a small one. Well, it's not small. We're adding. There's two things that have changed massively. One of them is actually three now. The overheat mode works really well, so it's. You can activate all your weapons at once if you want to fire them all at the same time, but you're gonna overheat and then you're a sitting duck. The other thing is we changed one of the lasers from a pew-pew to a sniper. It charges up and shoots massive damage, but also massive overheat. And then the third thing, which is the biggest deal and the hardest to implement, but is currently in progress, is the damage zone, which deploys randomly at the beginning of the game and constricts throughout the game, so that basically the beginning of the game you have this huge map to play in, and then at the end you're fighting in this tiny, chaotic center. And if you all happen to survive till the end, it's going to be absolute chaos, but I doubt that'll happen. And then we're hopefully going to do a tourney, like to stress test. I'm just waiting for a little bit of a lull, which I don't seem to think is going to happen. I don't know, man. Like, we keep releasing stuff. Everyone's releasing things. So I feel like I should just do it.
We have a good problem. We have a lot of games, and we just need more gamers. But we got the games are pretty solid. Getting to that stage, it's almost time to really get out there, friends, and get some new friends to come in here and play our amazing games.
For sure, man. And I feel like it just takes one of these things to become like a viral success to like bring eyes to our ecosystem. And I fully feel like any one of us could do that. Like I'm dreaming that that's going to be me, but I feel like any one of us could do that. Sorry about the chainsaw in the background.
Can't hear it. Yeah, it could be anyone. I mean, for GotchiGuardians especially, we're gonna really hone in on being the top Web3 tower defense game, but not in the sense that it's got to be. It's like it's come out from a Web3 culture, but it's going to be attractive to Web2 players as well. It'll like be something that like a nice Trojan horse to get them into our ecosystem, earning Aavegotchi rewards and things. So I think if each of the games has like an audience that we're trying to appeal to, that will make it really easy to go and talk to streamers that are playing those types of games, or go into like Reddit communities, and obviously not be like, "Hey guys, we're a Web3 game," because we'll get blasted. But going in there and figuring out clever ways to interact in their communities will prove dividends.
Man, one of our biggest hurdles is like just talking to the Web2 gamers, because every single time I've tried, to be fair, it's been in like stream situations, so like it's really fast moving chat, and they're usually goblins, so it's like difficult. But you mention crypto or NFTs or anything, and it's just like instant, like visceral, like knee jerk no. Like, how could you even mention that shit to me? Like, dude, this is the problem, is that there's so much like chaff and noise in our ecosystems that, like, how many scams have there been in crypto? And the scams far outweigh, in terms of like media noise, the scams far outweigh anything popular or like, beneficial to the humanity. And we have to remember all the systems that are currently in place that benefit from, keeping their systems as the de facto systems don't want us to succeed. So they do their best to like quash any good news. And then you just hear about Mr. Bankman-Fried and all these different things collapsing and people centralizing their assets. And nobody talks about the actual decentralized stuff. We need to be louder, I think.
Yeah, Lavelle, I love that idea. It's something we've definitely talked about. There's a good moment when we're ready to kind of engage with. Slama will be probably talking to some of his old base from over at Gwent and The Witcher, and that should be obviously we're not going to say anything bad about CD Projekt Red or any of the games, but just say, hey, yeah, this is a Web2 game dev, very successful, and now he's building this cool tower defense game in Web3. I wonder what he's working on. And we actually did do quite a few Reddit AMAs back in the day. I think one of them was on our crypto.
I think two of them were on our crypto, actually. They're very good.
Yeah. And we were on a short list of like NFT projects that even let in there at the time. Like, at that time, they were kind of hard to talk to list people like us. I think that's changed since then. But yeah, a lot of that will be up to Slama too. I mean, he has his opinions, and it's his career and his legitimate motivations for why he joined us. I think at the right time he'll be very happy to express that, and people will notice.
All right, friends. Well, we are at time for the hangout. Should we head into the DAO-ur here? Lots of activity happening on the DAO director side, and I think we got quite a few topics to go over tonight.
Tonya said he was busy, so I wasn't sure if he's going to get that GIF in there, but
Yeah,
now it's
waiting.
official.
GM, everyone.
Hey, Florian.
Hopefully my sound is all right. I've got my neighbor has randomly appeared to trim his orchard. So if you can hear stuff in the background, let me know.
Okay.
Awesome. So yeah, here we go. We have our 3 active proposals up in Snapshot as of today. So first off, we are going to have a recap. The last proposal that closed was converting all our DAO-owned DAI to avoid any issues that might be brewing in that department. So that has happened. And we have an update from Maxi Crouton, and it is being swapped now. So that is that one. Maxi, do you want to jump up and say anything, or are we good with that?
I could jump up real quickly. Yeah, we are in the process. I think we have 2 transactions left to sign, and they're both 3 out of 5. So that was the last time I checked. So we're very close to execution of basically everything remaining on our agenda for signing this morning.
Lovely stuff. So moving on from there, our 3 active proposals. So a couple of these only went live today, but let's see. First off, we have GotchiGuardians' allocation of the Aerodrome poll rewards. So GotchiGuardian, do you want to take the mic?
Sure. Yeah, just to give a quick update on that. So after discussing it with everyone in the thread, which I'll post that thread again here so everyone knows what we're talking about. We discussed like various options, whether we should sell the arrow or give it as an incentive or stake it or some combination of all that. And so we ended up going with selling 20% for WETH, basically converting the arrow into WETH. So the DAO can eventually, over time, hopefully get our investment of 100K Ghost back. And the rest of it, 80%, will be incentivized, transferred back to incentives for LPs. So we're going to continue that for 3 months, according to this prop, and see how that goes. And if it's going well, probably just continue. But there'll be a new prop after 3 months to continue with the same course or change course. So that's
How do we change course? Which way?
How do we change course? Well, it's unclear at the moment. It could be maybe we don't reinvest the arrow. Maybe we just sell it for ETH, or we do something else with it. But we will see what the data says and what kind of feedback we get from the arrow community.
Got it.
That's all.
Good. Awesome. Short and sweet. So next up, we have the Aavegotchi Grants Program, the AGP. So that only went live today. So we still have until, where is it? 7 days left. Where are we? 14 days to vote on this one. So still early. But this is just to streamline the process for small grants, anything below 10,000. And we have a pretty diverse team looking and assessing all the applications. So if anyone has any smaller ideas, the AGP might be able to help you out if this goes through. And Roxiana has posted the link to the vote there. Thank you. So is there anyone that wants to actually give an update or say any last words while this is live? Probably all good. Ooh, Roxana's trying to get up here.
Let me check. Has anyone brought her up? Yep, I see her.
Hey, Roxana.
Hey.
Hi. Yeah, so the proposal just went live this morning and it will be live for 14 days. And yeah, I think you guys basically know the basics from last week of what we are presenting here. Some of you were waiting on a demo of the process, but our template is available. So if anyone wants to like submit something to do a dry run, we can definitely do that. A thing to note is that we did look through like old DAO proposals to find a viable one as an example. We didn't come across one that would fit the criteria actually like very perfectly to a T to like do the example. That goes to show, in my opinion, how strict it would be, and the AGP won't just accept any proposal off the cuff, because I know some of you were worried about the leniency of the grant process. So that's a plus. It just goes to show that not all the proposals would be, you know, accepted without extremely careful consideration. If any of you want that linked, because I know McCallium just said that he was waiting for the example, but let me see. I'll link the template right here. This is what we have so far. So if you are a project wanting to submit something or do a dry run on that, that's the link for that. And then we'll go through the process after that's considered. Let's see. Anyone else have any questions?
Sounds
We got
solid to
someone
me.
who wanted to do Go Ball. That's good. Are you going to say something, Ace?
No, I just say that sounds solid, because last time when you guys come up to the stage, I think all the questions and all the explanations been given. So
All
good
right,
to
sweet.
see it.
Glad to hear it.
Hey, can you elaborate on? You said you looked at the previous props and none of them fit the criteria. Like, what do
Well,
you
they
mean
do.
by that?
They would need to be resubmitted. It's not that they don't fit the criteria, but there wasn't like a perfect example that we would be able to do. So like there is probably like it's just some of the so it's hard to explain. Fifu would know more about this than I would. We haven't gotten in touch with any of the proposal writers. Yeah, Aavegotchi just is going to come up on stage to
Yeah,
join me.
please.
Hey there, can you hear me guys all right?
Yes, sir.
Hey there.
Yeah, so we talked about this in our thread, and there was the suggestion that we are looking at the previous proposals and then do a mock-up and so on. But the thing is, we internally have a huge document with all the different things that we want to look at, and for projects to have the best chance, they would need to submit the information that we request in the template. Now, none of the previous projects had the opportunity to do so because there was no template. And
Gotcha.
so mostly it would just be like very small revisions, like, hey, please give us these small little details so we can properly assess everything. And so we thought it would be better to just release the template, and then everyone who wants to submit can already do so. and then we give them feedback even before we have the funding secured. Obviously, we couldn't act on it before we have the funding secured, but we can show the process and what it would look like.
Do you think you could maybe like mock up something, like just a fake project with fake everything, and just show people what the whole thing would look like? Because I think
Actually,
that's the issue.
Sure.
I was going to ask.
We could
I
fill
have-
out the template with a mock proposal if that's what people want.
Yeah, I think even if you don't have a live thing going, because you're playing with, before you start using real money, essentially, just like show people what the process would look like from start to finish, and just to give them a better idea of what you guys would be doing.
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Right.
Yep, we were discussing something along those lines at our latest meeting.
I feel like maybe you jumped the gun though on the dropping the prop before doing that is what I'm saying. Like it's something that I would have liked to see personally. I'm not speaking from Pixelcraft perspective, by the way. I'm just talking as a community member. Like I would have just liked to see a bit more detail as to what would be happening. Because the way I see it, like a project can just submit a normal prop for that full funding. And if it has merit, it should get funded. But if you guys go more into detail about what gives this, like why this process is beneficial and showing the checks and balances that you intend on performing, then I can see that. Because the snapshot, really there is no checks and balances other than you followed the criteria that we put in place, like putting Gotchi ID and discussion and all that stuff. But like once it's up there, it's up there. What you guys are being a lot more stringent. So if you can detail that, show why that's valuable, I think that would be a lot more attractive of an offer, in my opinion.
Yeah. No Future said, could you use my funding form post? That would be a consideration. We would definitely look into that.
Yeah, just as a template, because it is a current thing that's under 10K. I'm still going to go through the process as I plan on going through it, once I have a moment to speak about it. But you could just, as an example, say, hey, if No Futuristic had came to the AGP, this is the process based on what he's like asking.
Yeah. Yeah. So looking at that template, we could probably do something to apply it to that template. We can keep in touch about that.
Yeah, because then it'll just give you the proof of concept that you need to basically verify for everybody that's asking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That sounds good. And the other option as well is we've got Mycalium's fake war proposal. If we just adjust the price below your 10 grand limit, we could also run that through your template as well and see what happens as another option. Cool. Well, I think that might be everything for the AGP. So anyone else has any questions, jump into the forum and I'm sure the team will be able to get some feedback to you so you can get your votes in and we'll see what happens. You have to the 25th of May for that one. The next live proposal is a bit of a surprise proposal. We have the defense of the Aave Arcade proposal. So this is from Flame Viper, and it's kind of a new idea. There hasn't been a huge amount of chat in the forum about it, but if anyone has any specific burning questions, definitely jump in there. They have a game planned and are looking for 58k funding plus 9,000 ghost to be put into a bounty pool. So is there anyone available to talk about this one, or should we just send people to the forums.
That's unfortunate that we don't have him on the call right now, but seems like he's online. Maybe he will come in a short while, but the proposal looks like a bit rushed. It stayed only like 6 days up and had only 4 community members participated in the conversation. Also, there was no provision of the demo, so I'm not really sure how we're supposed to vote and kind of feedback he's expecting and all of this, but yeah, we definitely need to hear from him first. What you guys think?
I definitely agree on that. I most certainly would like to see a demo or something more to make a decision on this one. Otherwise, it just seems a little bit soon to be voting already. But hopefully, Flame might be able to either appear later on or he'll be able to answer and provide more information in the forum.
Yeah, I'm just gonna text him right now on DMs.
Nice one. So failing that, we can move on. That's all of the live proposals at the moment. So we have our Aerodrome rewards, our arcade, Aave Arcade, and the AGP Aavegotchi Grants program. So please jump on into the snapshot, chuck in your votes, and we will see how things pan out. After that, though, the forums have been fairly active with different discussions. So let's see, what do we have? We have our election for the elected facilitators coming up soon. So that is closing nominations on the 13th, I believe. So we only have, I think, 5 nominees at the moment. So if there's any other Gotchi gang out there that are willing to jump in the hot seat, please, votes are still open, or nominations are still open. So the more the merrier. And Crypto Gotchi, are you have any words to add?
Yes, thank you. I wanted to talk for a second about it. So, so far we've mainly got applicants for the moderation role, but I just wanted to point out, especially because there aren't many people applying, that we do have other roles, like for example, conflict resolution, which I think would be a very valuable add. So if you have any experience as like a mediator, please feel free to apply, because that alone would be very valuable to our DAO. And there are several other roles like moderation, communication, promotion, yeah. And I just wanted to say that according to the proposal, you don't have to be a moderator. If you see yourself in one of the other roles, I'm going to post a link here to the proposal so you can read through them. Then please feel free to apply. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you for stepping up to organize the elections for us. Definitely something that is getting a little bit heated, but now that we have someone taking the reins, things are moving forward. So just to say again, anyone else out there that wants to jump on up, please put your hat in the ring and join the voting. But actually, I did have one question. I was just wondering, let's say when the vote does actually happen, the proposal was for 4 hosts. What if, let's say, 2 hosts or 3 hosts get 100 votes each, and then the next 2 candidates only get 10? Do we still go for the top 4, or what would we do in a situation where there's a tie or something else going on?
Good question, by the way. Gotchi?
Sorry, I was busy reading chat. Can you ask again?
What happens when we go to voting? Let's say we have a tie and 5 of us make it in, or let's say only 2 gotchis get, say, 100 votes. The next few only get 10. Are we going to should we still go for the full 4, or in that case, should we say the DAO just wants only the ones that got the statistically significant vote?
Well, first up, since it's going to be on Snapshot, a tie would be extremely unlikely. Basically, we don't need to worry about a tie. There won't be a tie. But yeah, considering that there is the possibility that maybe 1 or 2 get 90% of the votes, and then the other 2 get like the rest of the 10. It is something that I also thought about. But given the original proposal, which we are kind of bound to, it just said we should hold an election to elect 4 people. So I would say that no matter the distribution of votes, the top 4 will get the spots. So
That makes sense, yeah.
that means that it's even more important for everyone who wants to apply. So we have all the best candidates out there.
Definitely. The more the merrier, and we will just have to see how the votes go out. Obviously, the forums are still there, so if anyone has any suggestions or ideas or anything, if something unusual happens with the vote, do pop your ideas in, and we will definitely see how that pans out. So I think that is... Oh, go for it.
Sorry, I was kind of thinking like maybe we're supposed to assign the roles like more clearly to not to have like sorry, not like everyone doing everything. Maybe there's supposed to be a separation of the things that we supposed to do, like the host part, and like for example, I just see the initiative of No Future doing his stuff, and it's kind of crossing the path with the current proposal of the facilitators. So I don't know, because CryptoGotchi was talking about moderations and other things. So maybe we need to like a little bit more clearance on the things that we should do, or maybe the different roles be assigned or something like. If you understand what I'm talking about.
Well, the proposal actually allows you guys to self-organize. You can either have you can share the responsibilities of the roles, or you can assign individuals to individual roles, or you can do a mix. That would be totally up to the elected people.
So it's like a free of choice, but I thought it's supposed to be like something more solid and clearly stated. Okay.
I
Michele,
actually think that the way that that it was designed is good, because if you elect the people that you think are best suited for the job, then you should give them the freedom to decide for themselves how to organize themselves.
It's like up to you. You want to shine or not.
Yeah, and
That's definitely...
Sorry.
Go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the thing that the post that I put up about forum is kind of to like a marriage with this, because it allows people to just focus on hosting and modding and not worry about the technology aspects. So as part of that, I would not apply to be an elected facilitator, because I just want to handle the behind the scenes tech essentially and media aspects of it, so that people can then host and don't have to worry about like, is my stream working, stuff like that. Also, part of my thing would be to add some bounties to get secondary streams up for redundancy.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I mean, I'm actually a big fan of you doing your media thing, because I think, the videos you put out and the recaps and everything are of much higher quality than I'm going to be pumping out if I get voted in. So, I mean, to take the media side of things out of it in the future, I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. But I guess, we just need to discuss it, because media is always something we've kind of not really taking seriously and putting our money where our mouth is. So I definitely would like to hear more opinions on No Future's proposal to see what everyone else thinks, because we like his stuff.
Sorry, one thing before we move on, if I may. Someone asked about the deadline for the application. I just put it in chat. So it depends on your time zone, but basically May 13th.
Yeah, May 13th. So
like early morning. So it might be May 12th for you. Just check the chat.
Definitely jump into the candidate profile thread, and the date will show up for you for your time zone. So I think, but and as Michaelium said in the chat, the media responsibilities are definitely a key part of the proposal this time around. But this is only a 6-month trial, shall we say? So next time around, we can always jig things around, because I'm sure we're going to learn something from the process. Whoever the 4 hosts end up being are going to, I assume, organize themselves and maybe come up with ideas and things that might improve the process in the future.
Yeah, I agree with what Light Piglet's saying about because the media part wasn't in the prop, but I mean, people were talking about the amount of money being spent on like facilitators. I don't personally have an issue with it, because their role is going to be to do research and set up and be ready for these meetings. We can debate the value of that, but splitting that between, I think, 8 people, it becomes less than what we really think it is. I don't have an issue with that. The other thing is, like, TBURD has a good example. He's streaming to bloomers right now. Ideally, under my funding thing, that would be a bounty that he would get paid for every week to make sure that we have a redundant stream on another platform. Ideally via a DAO profile that we would all set up. But I have I've been thinking about this media stuff from 2 angles, and I've talked about it publicly from 2 angles, just to be transparent. But the idea of funding this as a one-man kind of show with a bounty system, or doing something more formal with the DAO and making activating a communications director role, where basically I would run a bounty system for media to cover all of this stuff. So it's not just me doing it. It's it's people in the community. We can engage and get other creators in here also making content. I don't know what the better idea is, so I've just kind of kicked around both of them. If that was the case, it would be, we would have to vote for it on chain. It would be subject to the same limits of term, if we ever agree on them, that the directors would have. And it would be basically just like, literally, let's handle the DAO's media in the most straightforward, unbiased way to present ourselves out to the world in terms of, for onboarding, for just exposure in general, to let people know what one of the largest DAOs in the world is doing. Stuff like core prop, coverage, the different subjects we're doing. There's a lot of stuff baked into this. And if you look at my funding thing, I did do an example of pretty much all of it, where, I made the recap. I cut up each different segment for, like basically posting. I didn't post it because I didn't want to put that all on my feed, but that would be on a DAO channel. Text recap summary, long form and short form, that I was able to get off of transcripts from these things, so those could be translated to the other languages. And then the idea that throughout the week, as part of these things, we'd be posting constantly on behalf of the DAO, kind of shouting out what we're doing, highlighting the builders, and just keeping people informed. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm going for, but I don't know the best approach. You can look at my funding request. I talk a little bit about the idea of doing it just as a straight up 6-month, I'm going to do this and knock it out. And then the idea of also the communications director thing, which would be a more broad thing, and, the building of the actual infrastructure that other people can work in. If I die tomorrow, once it's built and it can run itself. So that's basically my idea in a nutshell.
Yeah, but you shouldn't trust that much to AI. Otherwise, you need to control and check how
Well,
accurate
AI
it's.
is only for the summary. When I say I'm not talking like hardcore, like I'm going to build a machine that's going to run itself. I'm talking about the organizational structure of a bounty system that if someone else steps in as a communication director, everything's set up. You just have to execute getting people into the roles to make sure that we meet all of the specific deliverables, which is going to be, media coverage, archiving, and then, just general, like ideally this would also marry in with the Gotchi greeters so that we have better, I guess, promotion of what they're doing as well. So it's just more, it goes into a lot of things, but AI is only literally for the text summaries, so that I can build captions, so that you can read it in a way that's not going to take you an hour to watch the video, but you still have that option.
All right.
Awesome. It sounds like a full package, and that's definitely something that tickles my taste buds. I think media is something we are kind of falling behind on in a kind of official level. I think we definitely need to formalize our approach and get a plan in place and get someone funded to take the reins in that area. And so far, I know Future is our guy for media. So we'll
Yeah,
just have to
thank you,
see
No
how this
Future.
goes.
Yeah, that was really, really an awesome proposal you put together. I definitely support it, honestly. It would be very useful to have something behind the scenes, especially with DAO hosting and stuff. I definitely agree.
Yeah, definitely help out the greeters and other areas in terms of promotion and when we go to events and different things. Because we have that MCon 3 event coming up that we'll be talking about in a little bit. And that's definitely something, if we had more of a streamlined set of videos and things that No Future is offering, it would definitely be beneficial to be able to show that and let the world know how awesome Aavegotchi DAO is.
Yeah, and I want to just say to Light Piglet, you're gonna end up roasting me. I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm still fairly new to the AI thing. I'm starting to incorporate it like for captioning and all this other stuff. I've been resistant to it. I'm starting to learn. There's gonna be small mistakes. It's not gonna be stuff like misinformation. But if if the AI spits out something wrong, roast me, because that's only gonna make me sharper, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's good. You're gonna learn.
Awesome. Well, the other thing that was kind of related to this was the media bounties that Thrax, I think, was discussing. Is there anything that wants to be added to that? Or because we kind of have a few things overlapping at the moment.
Alex, you want to talk about this? Maybe he's not here, but I think his initiative is quite nice, and it also suits the thing with no futuristic, and this is some sort of fueling up the community engagement. Some people who's interested in gaining this experience, I think, will participate in that.
Awesome. Well, next up, we have the TBURD's MCon 3 request. He's looking for, is starting discussions very early because the event is not till Q3. But he's looking for, so far, 10 grand funding for a mid-tier sponsorship. Now, I don't know if anyone's here to discuss it, TBURD or someone from...
Amar is here, and
awesome.
TBURD is up the hand.
Happy days.
Yep.
Come on up, guys.
Oops, sorry, I'm bringing him up now.
GM. Well, while we're waiting, did you want to give us a little bit of background on what this event is and who's actually going to go to it?
GM, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, it's all good.
Cool. Sorry, I'm like pushing buttons frantically in Discord. How is everyone?
I'm good. Welcome up.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me. TBURD is. Thanks for bringing it in. I can provide some context on the answer to those questions if you want me to. All right, cool. I will fire away. So you were asking kind of a little bit of background. So MCon specifically was started in 2021 as a project that was born out of Metacartel. We've been kind of funding DAOs and dApps in the ecosystem since 2018. And we really wanted a chance to get like kind of the on-chain community together, talk about like experiments, cutting edge innovation, like what people are doing, and get some collaborations rolling. We did one event in Berlin, like 35 people in 2019. And then we did our second event in 2020, which was like 300 people in Denver. We did it at a brewery. It was super cool, kind of scrappy, but people still point to that event as a lot of like kicking off for their experience. TBURD was there as well and helped crush it with a bunch of amazing content. And then we did another event in 21. And the event in 21 or 22, I can't remember. That one actually was really well attended. We got like over 1,000 applications. We accepted 600 people, and we took over a school, like I think it was like a middle school in Denver. And we had Lens there as well. We had Coordinate. We had a Tally, a bunch of other kind of like partner organizations who were partnering with us at the time. And that was a great one. We got a bunch more content. We had a bunch of games. We had all DAOs kind of come out, hang, and present. We did a bunch of workshops, talks, discussions, and we were able to break out some of the sessions into different rooms of the venue itself. So we've used that, some of the new programming. Now this year, we're expecting, we have a capacity of 1,000 total between two venues, which are right next to each other. And sorry, my little girl's in the background running around. And so we've chosen Detroit as kind of a city that has a nice like storied past. It's a city that's experienced boom and then bust, and now it's got a revitalization. So where the collapsed remnants of a American iconic city once were, now like new sprouts are growing. The city is really cool. It's quite vibrant. It's easy to get around, easy for people to get to. And we've located a few venues that we feel really good about and that have the right capacity. So we're working with our different teams, our different sponsors to kind of like design experiences inside the venue and around the venue. Something that I talked to TBURD about, which we kind of got excited, was there's a historic kind of retrocade in the area that has like 2 stories, a bunch of games, and they have like a kitchen in there as well. So we could do something for the Aavegotchi community and for the wider community itself that was like an activation with the machine that you guys have created. So we could work with them to get it in there, shoot a bunch of content, get people engaging with it, kind of like showcase it as this new and novel thing. You guys can bring your own content team, or we can work with you to provide and package a bunch of content from the event of people interacting with the arcade game, or maybe even like giving testimonials of what it's like or what the future looks like with on-chain gaming. But we're really thinking about kind of bringing the most interesting, the most creative kind of teams into the mix kind of share what they're up to. And TBURD and Chair and friends have all been friends of the Meta Cartel for a long time. So this is the first organization that I was really thought of when I thought we should collaborate, and really want to see like what's a value add for you guys.
Well, I was going through the thread and I had no idea that we had so many links going so far back. It's some brilliant crossover with Gotchi Gang members and other projects. As far as benefits for our DAO, it's so far all I'm seeing is that it's really just exposure and visibility to active devs and Web3 participants. Is that the main draw at the minute? Just exposure and potentially us finding more people to onboard for ourselves.
Is there any Gotchi Gang members that is not engaged with the Meta Cartel is going to attend the event and participate in there?
Yeah, I tried to drop some links earlier. I also just wanted to say, the goal of like our kind of like sponsorship engagement is to work with organizations who have like, you have goals, you have missions like that you want to accomplish. Like, what does it look like for you? So like, I'm a professional organizer of like events around the world, and I would basically just say like, what would be most exciting to you? What would be most interesting to you to engage with the audience of the attendees, and maybe even online or in advance? Is there like some kind of scavenger hunt? Is there some kind of like, token drop thing that you want people to do, or some collectibles thing? Like, we can help you do all of that. And my team of 5 will basically be handling all of like kind of like the production, execution of things like that. And as TBURD mentioned, because we're doing this in Detroit and we're trying to partner with local Detroit organizations to bring people from the community out as well, who are curious, who are kind of Web3 crypto curious. If you guys allowed people in Detroit to come to your event as well as attendees of MCon, we could dedicate 25% of your sponsorship fund to go into your side event. And at an arcade, which is a pretty like affordable venue, I would say, that might cover most of the budget.
That sounds like a good idea. By the way, do you have any like loud names or of the people or protocols that gonna attend the event?
Oh yeah, so already that we have on the sponsorship side, we're working with LexDAO, MetaGov, Let's Get High, if you know what I mean, Soleimani's new stablecoin project. FireEye's Unlock Protocol is also a sponsor. We've got Tally, and then we're doing a special edition fireside chat with Eigenlayer. Collabland is on board as well, and then we were talking to Autonomous Worlds and Dope Wars.
Yeah, but most of the names like not really familiar for me, but it's just my thing. Also, the coded Zen were asking like, what do we exactly get for this 10,000?
Yeah, so the sponsorship perks basically go into doing printed material, all the digital stuff. So you will be like throughout the venue, the Aavegotchi will be on of all of our printed materials. We'll do like a shout out on stage, and then as I mentioned, we are going to co-produce a side event with you if you decide to go down that route.
Well, this sounds like something the DAO probably should think about. Coder Dan, do you think Pixelcraft would have any appetite for jumping in on this at all, or do you think it's not really in your lane? Mm.
Yeah, I think just to double tap on TBURD's point is like the value of this event is like being there in this group of people that are very into the ecosystem, who are very diverse and widespread in their background and their experiences. So being part of those conversations, part of those discussions, maybe running your own kind of workshop or activation if that's interesting to you, is a great way to engage with the audience, because like there's a lot of like amazing founders and devs as well. There might even be an opportunity for like a little like kind of like a side hack thing that we're talking about. It hasn't been finalized yet, so if that's interesting to you. But like we're not ETH Denver, you know, we don't have 20,000 people coming, and it's just there's so much exposure. We're much more of a tight-knit kind of curated community of folks, which we have found works really well for creating connections and making introductions or talking about collaboration. So if you're trying to get out and get in front of people who understand this tech and who really are dedicated to building this is a great space to do it.
Well, thanks very much for all the information. It sounds like it's going to be a great event with some big brains in attendance, and there's some great other projects that are involved already. So, I mean, this isn't happening until September, so we still have a good bit of time to get our heads around the idea and see what we think and what we will want to do as far as side events and hackathons or game jams. It's definitely not a bad price for some pretty decent exposure, but jump into the forums, guys, and we can chat more about what we'll do, what will happen, and what we might gain from it.
All right, I got an answer about your DAO mission statement, and I can quite relate. So if you guys trying to interconnect the people and saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Sounds good. Actually, it gives like personally, it gives me more hope about some outcomes from the event and the other answers that I heard.
That's the motto, man. We're sticking to it. Keep it simple and do it community first.
Cool. Sounds good.
It does. I like it. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So that definitely is something we can relate to. We're a friendly bunch over here. We like doing things together. So it looks like that is all on MCon. The only other things that were discussed in the forums that kind of made an impact, seems we only have about 10 minutes left. Dr. Wagme has 2 discussions currently in action. He's got the Forge 2.0 new schematics release, and there's also another thread discussing items, sets, and schematics. So Dr. Wagner is not available today to jump up, but he is working on the project outline and the proposal, and has put a call out for anyone interested in collaborating with him to send him a DM. He's looking for front-end design, UI, smart contract, community management, social media marketing, lead art design for NFT, PFP design, and tokenomic design. So he's got, because he's also got a potential meme coin collaboration idea floating around as well. So it'll be really interesting to hear more from him and to see the outline possibly next week or fairly soon, either way, and find out more that is going on. Did anyone find any of that? Have anything to say about the items and sets? Because the wearables are always a hot topic of discussion.
It seems like the community is busy in the chat, so
Here we go. Dr. Wagner has said he has no current plans for new schematics unless the DAO wants to take that on. He would be happy for that. And he will be available to discuss the HODL meme coin idea he has started in the forums there. So that'll be cool for next week. And more proposals on the way. So that sounds pretty cool. Thank you, Dr. Wagner, for always putting your big brain into the Gotchi Gangs area. So that pretty much wraps it up. The last thing that was talked about was the Anata situation, and judging by the forum thread, it looks like they are going to be sold, and there's just discussions happening as to which way we want to go about that. Do we want to go OTC or just list them at floor, or which way? So that pretty much is everything, unless anyone else has anything they want to get off their chest.
yeah, there was Moon coming saying that he can buy it up by himself, and also Kodadan was saying that he's gonna try to contact Hero Gotchi, not Gotchi anymore, but maybe to make the transaction between our DAOs. So I'm not really sure how is it going. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Moon. Said he'd buy them all. So still in the process of discussing that. So if anyone has any strong opinions one way or the other on how we should be going about this, please jump into the thread and let us know what you're thinking.
Yeah. Otherwise
sorry.
you're gonna get banned.
Stop posting links.
Sure, mate. We can get back to it anytime on the next call because time comes up. Dan is asking why we are pushing the sales on the Anata so bad. Also, I would like to remind that somebody was saying that we would like to receive some airdrop for holding those assets. So maybe we should at least wait till then. Or maybe other way, it's going to be a good idea to sell before the airdrop because the assets that usually receiving the airdrops going down in the price. So we should consider both of these options.
Yeah, we still have options. Nothing's set in stone yet, but I think just the fact that they're not being used is the main motivation for moving them on. And I haven't heard anything otherwise. So
Simply, we're trying to reduce the risk. I would like to say that holding the asset that you don't know where is going and nobody tracking any progress or like that thread never been updated since the sale. It's like just we made a deal, and after this we was just blindly holding them. Nobody used anything. Nobody go to the Discord. Nobody followed the sales on the OpenSea, and like so many gaps. Like we just was sitting on the pile of the NFTs and doing nothing about it. Maybe the situation could be different if somebody would at least track some progress or like stay up to date with something like that is going. Because if we're just gonna hold the asset blindly, we might just lose the moment of it starts it to sink.
yeah, well, as far as tracking, I don't think there is actually anything to track. I didn't hear of anyone actually requesting to use them. And they have been, as far as I'm aware, completely unused since we purchased them. So I guess the appetite really just hasn't been there, because we do have streamers out there, and not a huge amount, but so far no one has jumped in to actually use them. I know I myself, I mean, I blame the bear market blues, but I did vote for purchasing the Anadas, and I did have in the back of my mind the idea of maybe I'll do some streaming and I can hide behind the Anada, but that's not really at the top of my list. So I don't know if there's anyone that wants to give them a go. They are there waiting to be used until we decide otherwise.
I feel like the issue is that we all would rather be a gotchi. I want a 3D gotchi. I don't
Yeah.
like you're not as cool if you're into that art, but I'm here for the gotchi, baby. That's it. Like I want my gotchi.
This is true. This is true. There's definitely something we're all looking forward to. Soon, apparently, we will have our 3D gotchis live. So looking forward to that. Is there anything else anyone wanted to bring up before we wrap up for today? Because I'm not seeing anything else happening. There's healthy discussion about MCon and anything else we want to do with the Anadas and such. So
I think we are done for agenda for today.
yeah, we've covered everything so far. So
It was really nice to hear you on the call today, Farin.
thank you very much. I'm very happy that my farmer next door finished nice and fast. So that is everything. Thanks everyone that came up to speak and everyone for attending. It has been awesome, and we will see you all again next week.
Yeah, thank you guys for your time, for attending the call. See you next week. Have a good weekend.